We look at peace as the opposite of gunshots and fire. What would you do? What would you choose for my $1 million between building a school?
If there's no food, there's no peace. If there's no peace, there's no food. And that really, it's kind of like the interdependent point that is applicable to both ends. I often tend to believe that an empty bag, as my mom back home says, an empty bag cannot stand on its own.
Welcome back to Rat Talk. In this episode, I'm here with my friend Zua Companhia Antonio, who is coming all the way from Mozambique. And we'll be discussing his journey, his life as a peace builder. So again, this is Rodrigo Makele, your host, and I'll be hosting this episode today. And I'm going to welcome Zua on the studio. Hey, welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. It's our pleasure to have you here, and we want to know a little bit about you, who you are, what you do for a living, or whatever you want to share more about you so that people know who they're talking to today.
I'm Zua, but my first name is Antonio. Second Zua, third is Companhia. So I'm from Mozambique. I speak Portuguese, actually. What do I do for living? I'm a full-time student.
And I think my question is, can you say more about your journey from where you are to here?
Before I got here, I used to work as an international employee development assistant. So I did work a lot with the Mennonites before in the southern part of Africa and in the Caribbean, northern part of America. So all during this journey, I used to work as a peace advocate.
Yeah, speaking of EMU, is a place that I went to school myself. I graduated from EMU in 2020 with the same degree that you're pursuing right now. It was an experience that was very powerful for me to get peace building different answers from different perspectives and different people. We look at peace as the opposite of gunshots and fire and people dying and people having time. So EMU has been a very eye-opening experience for me, experiencing that. So, but why can't you choose peace building?
Oh, I think I have this sentence that I like to use, say that if there's no food, there's no peace. If there's no peace, there's no food. And that really, it's kind of like the interdependent point that is applicable to both ends. And these two sides are basically like the points that tend to be very fundamental in either peace, struggling peace construction, or either like food, food insecurity. So basically, there are a lot of like, if you tend to see examples, like most of like countries with struggling conflict, they are food insecure. And being so, these two tend to overlap each other, or either you find countries with a lot of like struggling conflict, and they also have food insecure, or either you find country with food insecurity that cause a lot of like destructive conflict. I often tend to believe that an empty bag, as my mom back home says, an empty bag cannot stand on its own. So it's important to be able to produce food in order to support and sustain the people, and so that the peace can be enjoyed and fruitful.
So this is a question for everybody that is watching us. I got $1 million here that hypothetically, I got $1 million with me right now. And we want to invest in one project. There is ongoing violence happening on the one hand, and on the other hand, there's needs for education. There's no school that can help kids get education or access to quality education. What would you put the $1 million to? So if you have good ideas or good answers, we want to hear those in the comments. What would you do? What would you choose for my $1 million between building a school for kids to have access to education in that area where people are fighting, or putting that money into the peace process so that there can be a ceasefire, or there could be a peace agreement somewhere so that the violent conflict stops? And so please give us your answer in the comment below.
Well, that's a tough question. That's a really tough question. But I would say If peace is the key to develop it, then we could or may pursue the peace. But the education is a place where the mindset is transformed right in then. I would say most of countries that are having war doesn't mean that I'm saying war, it could be any other destructive conflict, doesn't mean that their education is on pause. The education is still ongoing.
So every kid deserves education. I come from Congo, bro, where many millions of kids don't have access to quality. Up to now, is still a problem because of war somewhere there. That the money is being pounded into that war, and there's not much being invested in infrastructure for kids, right? Just as we say, now we're talking about food. A lot of people are going hungry, but there's still a lot of money that is being pounded in conflict and sustainability and peace and all these missions. We have the United Nations mission to the Congo. We have all these programs, the EAC, South African communities, the army trying to build peace. But it looks like everybody forgets about people, food security. Now the local communities in Goma, for example, are providing meals to the kids in the refugee camps. But I would love to hear what our viewers think about investing in food security or investing in peace and security. Which one would you put the $1 million in? And assuming we have 500,000 kids that need food right now. From your perspective, you've been doing peace building work. You travel the world. I know you haven't only been in Haiti, the US, you've been in many other countries, Africa, other places. You speak many languages that inform how you've been explored places. Where did you see your contribution have an impact in it? Something that you did personally, and you saw that this really had an impact?
That's a good question. Being there, actually, you don't even think that would be impacting a lot of people. I was in Zambia, for example. Zambia is not known by farming rice, but I was in Zambia in southern province of called Choma. I started a project that project of farming rice on the valley in between mountains. And a lot of people were like, what? Rice needs a lot of water for it to grow. But it turns out people farm rice until today, since 2016 that have started farming rice out there.
Well, we should talk about this. I have a lot of people that I want to bring on the show to talk about planet, taking care of the earth, climate change, climate degradation, clean water, sanitation, things like that are very important.
Yeah. So I came up with my small platform project where I was able to produce avocado trees, mango trees, any other tree. And because you don't need to open that's like the pot's made out of banana leaves, so it's degradable. You just plant it together, and then that becomes the compost. And so that's my biggest highlights. I was in Haiti actually. To those who know Haiti, they know what it looks like. Even when you're flying over the country, you can kind of spot in the trees where they are.
What languages do people speak in Haiti?
They speak French and Haitian Creole.
So do you speak Haitian Creole?
I do speak Haitian Creole. I speak Shona. I speak Shindao, which is my mother tongue. I speak Portuguese. I speak Spanish. I speak English. I speak Chichewa. I speak Nyanja.
That's Chichewa.
I speak Shangana. I speak Sena.
And I want to ask the last question so I don't take too much of your time. So what advice could you give to someone who wants to become a peace builder like you? Also a traveler that wants to explore as much as possible, but has same background as yours.
In short, is be present. Be yourself, be present, and not be judgmental.
Being judgmental is a big problem.
It's a big problem because you expect somebody to know what you are thinking about. So, it also is applicable to culture shock. You live here, trying to travel to Mozambique, which is my country. You're expecting getting there in just start enjoying life out there. I mean, you can if you're prepared for that.
Yeah.
But you cannot because there are so many barriers.
Yeah.
And if language would be the barrier, or then you might not be able to communicate. You might need like a middle person.
Wow, thank you so much for those powerful words. And that was Rat Talk with your boy Rodrigue and my friend Antonio Companhia Zua from Mozambique. So a lot of good communication and information and a lot of good stories. So looking forward to seeing you again on our next episode. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and hit the ring bell so that you can get more notifications when we drop more videos like these. We are going to continue providing you stories of people that are resilient, the journeys that have been in the field for a long time. We want to unveil them on Rat Talk and get them to you on your screens. Thank you so much and stay blessed. Peace out.